So
Good
we're here.
morning.
We're here. We had a little bit of a kind of Zoom kind of tech thing going on there, but I think we're okay. So fingers crossed. The powers that be are with us this morning, and we're going to be here with you throughout this live. Yeah, I'm Vanessa Wallace. I run Crystal Clear Retreats. I'm an emotional wellbeing coach, and do you want to introduce yourself?
Ta-da! Boom! I'm JJ Van Zon, yoga and meditation teacher, spiritual coach, and here author in the Netherlands of the book The Power of Me Time. That's me! Yay!
Fantastic. Okay, we've got Terry here already. Morning, Terry.
Morning,
Good to
Terry.
see you.
And together, don't forget it. And together, we've worked together for the past, what is it? Since 2017, I think.
Yes, we've worked together for 3 years now, running retreats, attending retreats, having lots of fun.
Technical glitch.
That's okay. So I'll continue talking.
Yeah, and maybe you see me, but I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna do the update. Yeah.
Okay. So JJ's just going to leave us now. So he'll disappear in a minute, and hopefully you can still see me. Yeah, so we were being really kind of hopeful that everything was going to be okay, but doesn't look like it's actually turned out that way. But hey, that's fine. I'm here on my own. That's great. JJ will join me again in a minute. And as we were saying, we've been working together for 3 years now, running retreats, being on retreats together, learning stuff together, trying to bring our work together so that we can coordinate in a way that supports people. Because what we've recognized was that we both have two different ways of approaching anxiety and depression and mental health, and that those two things work really well together. So JJ's a lot more on the spiritual side, I'm a lot more on the mind side. Okay, so I'm hoping that he's going to possibly come back with us very soon. But at this moment in time, I've got a couple of people here. Julia, hi. Sarah, hi. So yeah, we've got the team here. Fantastic. Okay, so this morning I'm going to be talking, or we are going to be talking when JJ comes back on, about grounding. Now, grounding is a really important technique when we're emotionally distressed. It's a way that we focus on one point. So we train the brain to just focus on one point. So one thing. And that's really difficult for our brains to do because it's always off on one way or another way, or thinking about this and that, about yesterday, about tomorrow. Hey, there's JJ. You're still on the screen in the other point. Are you on a different device?
No, I'm on the same device.
Okay, so we've got your lovely picture in the corner. Can you see it?
I see that there's a JJ Van Zon in the screen, but it's exactly the same computer and whatever. So there was something off in that room. I'm now in the room. Are we still live on Facebook?
Yes, we are still live.
Oh, hello everyone. So
we've got Sarah here now, and Julia and Terry.
Awesome. Hello everyone. So yeah, I'm in a different room with my beautiful trees and lightning.
I just love that picture. That picture is amazing. It's really, really good.
See, that's why I needed to be here. The universe. Yeah. All right. So let's go back to business. Hey, the other picture is gone.
Yes, that's good. This is fun this morning, isn't it?
I know. I hope it stays now. I hope it stays. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, so I was just talking about grounding, why grounding is so good, and it's all about focusing the mind on one spot or one aspect or one thing, because otherwise, well, naturally our mind just wanders to the future, to the past, and actually how stressful that is. So grounding is about bringing that focus to, or training the brain to actually focus on one thing. I'm going to hand over to you now, because I know you've got lots to say about grounding.
Well, yeah. Well, if you go back to a certain point in your life that is not really going as planned, or you're suffering from something, you have stress, or you can call it, we work a lot with people who suffer from anxiety or depression. These are all parts that originate basically in the mind. So if you're on a loop always here, you're kind of ungrounding yourself. You're lifting yourself up, and not in the good way, not on the higher frequency that we talk in spiritual level, but this is all in the mind. You're going up. And so it's very important that you anchor yourself. You need to find an anchor to ground yourself on this planet, because you're meant to be here on this earth, and basically in a present moment. That is the when you're the healthiest and the strongest. And that's why I love that you're saying, you know, have a focus point or something to focus on, because that is your anchor. And for everyone, an anchor is different. You know, we are all different people, and you are entitled to your own anchor. Just that the basics, if you have no idea what an anchor is or something, you can focus on the breath. You can work with your feet or your legs, or you can walk in nature, because nature is always grounding. That kind of stuff. So for me, grounding is literally what it means. You go back to earth. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love the way that you bring in that earth aspect to it, because it's literally you're grounded. I've heard other people talk about, and I've done a little bit of it as well in some of my meditations, where you've actually got roots. And I've heard you talk about this in your yoga session, where we have roots coming out of our feet, and just imagining that. So you're literally grounded, attached to the earth. And I even heard, and this is quite a good one actually, imagining that your feet are attached to the earth. They've got roots, and then the roots go down and they're wrapped around the center of the earth.
Yeah.
And there's something really powerful in that. There's something, you know, that is grounding. The anchoring.
Well, yeah. It's a meditation that I always do in my yoga classes. I always tell, you know, if you've got tree pose, so you're literally standing with your feet on the floor, but like a tree, you have roots twice the size of you underneath the surface.
Yeah.
And if you think about that it immediately grounds you, but it also creates a beautiful foundation, so you can feel safe and stable. And, you know, maybe it's a little woo-woo, or because we're talking about energetic roots here. But that woo-woo is, again, an opinion that resonates from the mind, because the mind, it doesn't really want you to ground an anchor, because then it would lose power, you know? So it's kind of this vicious cycle, that if you suffer from something, you have that vicious cycle going on in the mind, and you really need to break through it, bust through it, and ground yourself. And grounding is literally very easy and very effective.
Yeah. But, you know, it does, whether it's woo or not, from the brain chemistry side of things, it makes sense as well, because when we're thinking about a lot of things, we're producing a lot of stress hormone. So the brain is doing so much activity, even if we're just kind of randomly just thinking about the future or the past. So grounding is an exercise where we can actually change the pathways in our brain.
Yeah.
And by actually actively practicing to focus on one thing, whether that's your feet or maybe your hearing or even touching something, you're training your brain to just start to focus on one thing. So you're calming all those firing, because when we think about a lot of things, there's lots of firing of neurons going on in our brain, lots of things kind of being triggered. You know, it's like a mini kind of activity center. And if you attach, you know, yourself to one of those monitors, you can see the difference between somebody once they are mindfully meditating or doing an anchoring exercise, and actually just are not doing that. All the lights start to calm down. So it actually works in terms of like a chemistry or more kind of scientific way as well. So the two sides are really, you know, whichever way you want to think about it, is fine.
Grounding literally means taking a break for your mind. So you're literally grounding, you're taking care of your mind by giving it a break, because
Mm.
it's always on high, on high, on high. And, you know, sometimes you have that with children as well. You need to say, okay, now stop playing. You need to eat, or you need to sleep, or etc. And that's the same thing. The childish brain, you need to be the CEO. You need to take care of it. And grounding is a very earthly step.
Yeah. And I love that you said that it's taking care of our brains. So it's, you know, like you would rest if you had, so if you did exercise for a day, you take rest in between. And it's the same, you know, if you put your muscles through a lot of stress, you do a rest day in between. It's the same with the brain. You know, we have a lot of brain activity, doing a lot of stuff. We need to do the grounding in between to repair, to give the brain that rest time, that recuperation time
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, and it comes back to that nervous system that we always talk about. You know,
Mm.
the brain activates. It's that sympathetic nervous system, and we kind of lost the counterpart, the parasympathetic, that, you know, calms us down. And when you ground, you get out of that active state, so you really come back.
Yeah.
Um, in that nourishing state, and you have like sleeping, you know, it can recharge at that
Mm.
moment.
Absolutely.
Wow, I'm also very scientific.
Yes, I know you are, and I'm a little bit woo woo as well. So,
Yeah, yeah, we're together, balance.
so I even have my crystals, you see.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So I do a little grounding exercise for everybody.
Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah. Okay. You, because we just found out this morning you haven't actually done a meditation with me because you've never been in any of
I
my sessions.
no, because normally you always ask me to meditate. So this morning when you popped it up, I was like, yay!
Yes. Okay. So this is it's a grounding exercise. We could call it a meditation. You can call it mindfulness. You can just call it an exercise. But what it is it's a way of grounding your mind. So I'm going to do 3 different types of grounding with you. I'm going to do physical grounding. I'm going to do a mental grounding, and then I'm going to do a soothing grounding. So there's 3 different types there. Okay, but firstly, let's just get ourselves comfortable in our seats and just start to take a few deep breaths. And so this is the first grounding. We're just going to focus on our breath. Just notice your breath coming in, your belly rising, and then going back out. Your belly falls. Perhaps just put your hands on your belly, and as you breathe in, just notice your belly rising and falling. And now just focus on your feet. So just draw your attention down to your feet and just notice the soles of your feet. They're literally connected to the ground. Just notice what that feels like. Push your feet into the ground and then wiggle your toes, push in your heels, and then just bring your foot to rest on the ground. Just stay focusing on those feet for a few more moments. And now just keep your eyes closed, but touch the chair or the sofa, whatever you're sitting on, or a cushion next to you. Just touch it and just focus on what that feels like. Just notice if it's warm, if it's cold, soft, hard. Just focus all your attention on the sensations now coming through your fingers and your hands. And just stay with that for a few more moments. And now just clench your fists. Just clench your fists and just notice what that feels like. Notice the tension in your hands. Just pay attention to that. You're going to clench them for 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just let go. And just notice the tingling in your fingers or any other sensations that you're getting. Just draw everything to those hands, what they feel like. Okay, well done. So that's the physical grounding. Now we're going to do some mental grounding. So keep your eyes closed, and I'd like you to think of your favourite colour. Just imagine that that colour is surrounding you now. So all we're going to think about is just that colour. If you haven't got a favourite colour, just pick any colour and just imagine it's showering you. It's all around you. If that's difficult, just pick an object that you know is that colour, maybe a flower or the sky or the grass. And just imagine that in your mind. Just focus on that one thing or that colour. Almost breathe it in. Well done. And now I'd like you to think of your favourite song. So it might be a song you listened to earlier on today or maybe yesterday. Just sing it in your mind. You can sing it out loud if you like. But just sing that song to yourself. Okay, well done. And now just think of the number 100. And then I'd like you to subtract 5 from that. And just think of the new number. So we're still doing mental grounding here, we're focusing on numbers. Then take 5 away again and think of the new number. Take 5 away again and think of the new number. And keep going all the way down to 0. Okay, well done. And finally, we're going to do some soothing grounding. So I'd like you, in your mind, to just take yourself to a place that you consider to be really safe and happy for you. So maybe it's on the beach, maybe it's just a room in your home, or maybe it's in the forest or in the woods. And just imagine that you're there now. And connect to that sense of safety. Just notice everything about this place. The smells, what you can see, and how you feel. Just stay there for a few moments, just exploring this safe place. This is your anchor. This is your safety. This is where there is no past and no future. Just safety. Just stay there for a few more moments. And then when you're ready, just bring yourself back to your breath. So start to focus on your breath again. Just noticing your breath coming in, your belly filling, and then going back down again as you breathe out. Just noticing that breath coming in and out. This is an anchor you can use at any time during the day. Just bringing yourself back to your breath. And then when you're ready, just gently start to open your eyes and bring yourself back into the room that you're in. Just anchor yourself in the room by just having a look around. Just notice what furniture is there and just name things in your mind. Okay, well done everyone. Yay.
That was nice.
Cool. How did everybody who's watching find that? And we've still got everybody still here. So yay, you stayed with that. Well done. That's a great achievement for a Monday morning. Hopefully that will set you up for a good day today.
Yeah.
You're just so chilled now.
It works. It works.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you have overwhelm or stress, and use an anchor, and it takes you out of that funk.
Yeah, I love that word, funk.
Yeah, I love it. You're funky music, mad boy. But
Terry said that felt lovely, and Sarah says wonderful.
Awesome.
So yeah, no, thank you for being here, and thank you for staying with that. And as I say, I really hope that sets you up for a great day today. Any other points on grounding that you want to say, JJ?
Well, grounding is kind of part of a whole. You got grounding, but with grounding you create balance, you create center. These words all are like like dominoes. They're together, creating this whole platform of a solid foundation. And even in the society where we are now, with all the sensations around us, there's just so much going on. Even I have to really do my effort not to grab my phone in the morning. Just have that first 30 minutes or that first hour without the phone, because it just gives me so much information. And even if you don't suffer from anything serious, that is already stress. The stress hormones exist there. So even if you have nothing to worry about and your life is all peachy, grounding is still very important.
Yeah, and I think that gets missed as well, because we think, okay, well, I only need to do grounding if I've got problems, if I've got some difficulties or stresses that I've been through. But actually, it's great for anybody.
It's great for everybody.
Everybody. It prevents, I think it can prevent kind of long-term stress-related problems.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. I don't know the exact kind of medicine around it, but I absolutely believe that if we reduce our stress levels with something like grounding, that we prevent a lot of illnesses, physical illnesses and mental health illnesses that can come along later on in life.
Yeah. And for us, and I think you experience it well, as an ex-addict, I
Mm.
know that you always need to do the work. It's not like, oh, okay, I'm fine now, because then is the word relapse in English?
Yeah,
A relapse is on the corner, so you always need to do your work. And just a grounding exercise that we just did, it can only take 1 or 2 minutes.
yeah,
Just having a slow down, breathe, connect with your feet, that is already enough for you to get out of that funk.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're really excited, aren't we, JJ? Because in a few weeks' time, we're going to do a whole afternoon, or maybe morning. I'm not too sure what we're going to do, but it's on the 5th of July. Anyway, we're going to
It's the
do
afternoon.
afternoon. Okay.
I think let's talk about that.
Yeah, we need to talk.
Yeah, we
But
need to
anyway, it's
talk.
definitely on
Ooh.
the 5th of July. And we're going to do a few hours of grounding. So it's all going to be about grounding. So there'll probably be lots of meditation, lots of grounding exercises, lots of info. It's going to be fun. JJ and I are going to be there together. So yeah, we're really excited that we've decided we're going to do this. So yeah, I hope you can come along. If you're interested, email me, vanessa@crystalclearcoaching.org, and I can give you more information about the timings when we've sorted that out, and the costing and everything like that. But yeah, it'd be really good to have you there. If you're watching that on replay, please still as well, just message me, vanessa@crystalclearcoaching.org, and we can have a little chat about what the day or the afternoon or morning involves. Okay, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. When you picked that topic, JJ, I just thought, yes, this is something that we really need to do, because
Yeah.
we've really got two different aspects on this, but they so kind of go together.
Yeah.
As well, and it's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing, for anyone who suffers from a stress-related issue. Grounding is, when you create awareness of this magical tool, because it works like magic. You bust through all those cycles that keep you in that funk. It's if you're really interested in what we just did, just schedule the 5th of July in your calendar, because this is for you.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say, actually, because I know there's a few people who might be watching who experience this. If you suffer with panic attacks, grounding is the best tool you can learn initially to manage. I mean, there's other things that will be helpful, but grounding is the one that will actually support you to get out of panic attacks and manage them. Because I know how debilitating panic attacks can be, and anxiety attacks. They're not nice at all, and grounding is a great tool to manage those. So if that's kind of triggering something for you, get in touch, because JJ and I can really help you with that. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely day, and yeah, please feel free to put any comments in. We've got quite a few people. Let me just okay, we've got Ajita here. Hi Ajita, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. That's fantastic. So yeah, feel free to put any more comments. If you're watching on replay, please feel to comment, and I will pick up the comments. Take care. Have a good day.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.